I didn't go back and make a tray, and I haven't been to Poundland, okay? I've been diverted by other issues. And they're to do with, it's like health and safety, but it's much more on a personal level. And there's nothing yet there's no legislation in place for this anywhere, in fact. And that's personal hygiene or body odors. I was talking to a very good friend of mine the other day, and she said to me that all of a sudden a woman that she works with or close to had developed an extra dimension. And what she meant was that all of a sudden she fucking stunk. And you've got to be a little bit careful. You've got to be a little bit careful because there's certain medical conditions. Conditions. There are certain medical conditions, and there are certain cycles. You know, the pyramid cycle that women have that sometimes can cause, you know, odors. Odors. I can remember a girl that I knew when I was in school, and every now and again you could sort of like smell like cuppa soup that wasn't quite right, and you knew what it was. You never said anything about it at all. But this apparently, this poor woman, she had started to stink the fucking place out, you know. And after exploring all those various things, it was sort of, well, what do you do about it? What can you do? You can't say you can't say to somebody. Well, it's very difficult to say to somebody. I've never said it. You know, you fucking stink. You just keep out of the way because it's so repulsive. And she said that she'd reported it to a line manager. Apparently they're sort of very important people that you report to. It's not like, you know, when you go into work, say, hi, I'm here, but they sort of, you know, they make sure you develop. You have these things. Anyway, that's it. I've not found out how they approached it, but it reminded me. It reminded me very much of a couple of occasions in the past, where in various places that I worked, of colleagues of mine that had this particular problem. And I can remember a young girl who was a vegetarian, and I've got no problem with vegetarians, and she wasn't banging a gong about being a vegetarian. She just didn't like eating meat, so that was that. But she had an extra dimension, and it was a regular extra dimension, because about 10 o'clock every day she would go to the toilet properly. And the toilet where I worked at that place, so for the ladies, and it was down the end of a long corridor that was the access to lots of other places. And after about 10 o'clock, fucking hell, I don't know what it was that she was eating, but it just smelt like beer and parsnips mashed up and boiled. It was fucking awful. Terrible. And there was another guy there as well. He used to stink, you know. I hardly spoke to him between May and the end of August because, Jesus Christ, you know, he used to come into work and you knew he was in. You knew when he was on holidays because the place didn't smell. I mean, he kept himself clean. He used to shave and put a clean shirt on every day and stuff like that. But fucking hell, you couldn't catch your breath near him. It would fucking stink, you know. And he was married. He was married and he had a daughter. So he must have been able to get close. I mean, maybe his wife had a broken nose or something, or sinusitis. I don't know, but it's a very difficult thing, isn't it? And believe it or not, a long time ago, I worked in the perfume department of a major department store, and I didn't wear the products or anything. I used to spray them on people as they passed through and try to sell them. I did have backcombed hair just to sort of look the part. And there was a fella there, a young guy, was very, very smartly dressed, very witty guy. He was very popular with men, and used to pluck his eyebrows before ever it was fashionable. He used to make me laugh, but only from a distance. And for all the world, and this is going to sound harsh, his breath smelled like he'd been sucking shit. And he used to laugh and talk to you, get up close and go, you know, ha 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 ha, who have you? I said, fuck me, Jesus Christ, you know. Did you find one on the way to work or something? Or have you made one? It was just bloody awful, you know, dreadful stuff. And these are issues that we've not let yet legislated for. We haven't done it, you know. We've got health and safety in work. You mustn't do this, you mustn't do that, you know. You mustn't climb a ladder and all those sorts of things, you know. You mustn't lean back on a chair and leave water water on the floor and all those things, and they're all important because nobody wants to get injured in work. But what about the fucking smells? Let's just go for that. Let's address it. Let's find some sort of way, something we can put in a book that perhaps a line manager they can then go through some sort of procedure where there's an outcome, a measured outcome to somebody that smells, and they've sorted it out. It's a very difficult thing. I mean, you can't just leave a little thing of deodorant on somebody's desk in case the smell is coming from a hole, because you can't put a deodorant on a hole, can you? That's a different thing altogether. I don't know what you put on it, bicarb or something. I don't know, or wash the fucking thing, But it's very serious, It's very, 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 very serious. Very serious. I beg your pardon, This is another. Does that happen to you sometimes? You get this. With your nose, it's a funny thing. You're scared to rub it too much in case something comes out or something. But once you start, it's a job to stop. And somebody once said to me, that's probably nasal worms. Well, fucking hell, nasal worms, Jesus Christ. I had fucking nightmares. I couldn't stop thinking about, I was upset. Nasal worms, can you get nasal worms? I remember lying in bed one night and I was just lying back there and everything. I was just thinking about nothing or whatever. And I thought, Jesus Christ. I think these nasal worms have migrated. They've migrated to my bollocks. I started to scratch. Once you start scratching your bollocks, you just can't stop. You scratch away. And like with blokes, you see blokes walking down the street, don't you? And they're scratching their bollocks, or they sit in a chair. They can sit in a chair in a furniture shop, and they go all comfortable. And they they're comfortable. Yeah, this will be okay. I can watch TV with this in this chair. Then they check their bollocks out, just give them a touch or a little scratch or something. It's what blokes do. And the other day I was watching TV. It was trash TV. I'm drawn to trash TV because, TV's not real, is it? We've sat in front of it for fucking years now and sort of get most of our knowledge, isn't it, of TV. And there was an advert on there, and it was in the middle of Cop Intercept, as it was, of all things, and there was an advert on there for a product for female itching. And I thought, straight away, that can only be a fanny love, can't it? It's got to be that, female itching. And I thought, come to think of it, I haven't seen a woman scratching. I haven't seen a woman scratching her fanny. I've been about, I've known women intimately, and I've never seen one scratch their fanny. I suppose they can't really, can they? It's just not on. Straight away, bloody hell, scratching their fanny. You can't do that. And you can't use a biro or a ruler or something like that, or leaning against something, because somebody will see it. Somebody will see it and go, oi, I've bloody seen you there. It's just a very, very embarrassing thing. So, they got a product for it. Us blokes, we don't seem to care. It's just the way the world is. I think these issues should be addressed. And I think that line managers, if they're going to do personal development plans on you and assessments and things like that, they ought to be trained in matters of the stink, the stench, those repulsive things. But I don't know how to go about it. I don't know how to start that as a campaign. Perhaps somebody can come up with a suggestion for that. It'd be really good because it's out there. It's out there. Anyway, that was the diversion. But I've got something looming up on the horizon, which I shall be talking about shortly. And that is that I'm about to go to the bingo. Yep. I'm going with some girls, women. Well, they're girls. They're all girls, really. I'm going to the bingo with some girls on a Friday night. And I've never been before. Apparently you get a dabber, and it's a laugh. And I'm going to give it a go. And see what it's like. I'll let you know.